I forgot I had that window open. Maybe they will be okay. It's Friday night. Right. That's why I said we gonna see live on, I'm so used to saying TikTok. YouTube. YouTube family. Okay, I'm just not seeing that email. I'm just not seeing that email. Hello, Lily Daniels. How are you this evening? How are you this evening? Um, I wanted to jump back on tonight and kind of just, kind of do like an overview of some of the questions that I've been getting in my inbox, like regarding some of the topics that I've kind of gone over already, like the Navy Federal. Um, what else? I was looking through my phone to see because I got a ton of freaking inboxes, and some of these questions are like the same kind of questions. So I kind of just like to do a Q&A session some nights to kind of just go over some of these questions. I just want to get on one more platform, and then I'm gonna just kind of open up the floor, go ahead and get started. Okay. If you have a question or something that you want to address. Oh, thank you, Lily. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah. So right now I am. I'm a little blocked right now, so I can't get on there till next week. But that's all right. We're gonna roll. Still gonna post videos and content for you all. So I appreciate you joining last night. What is this? Finance Friday open Q&A session. Taxes. I just want to let Facebook people know that they can come on over to YouTube channel. Discussing credit and taxes. Patrice L. Stewart. All right, we are live. Okay, so now I'm on both platforms and we'll go ahead and get started. So, one of the things that I think I started talking to you guys about yesterday that I had a couple of questions for, though. Let's just go back into the question. So I know I talked about the secured credit card yesterday and how um, after paying that card for 6 months, that card was opened back up to me. So one of the questions that I had was how did you get the card to open back up, and did you put the money up? So okay, let's kind of just go over this. Let's kind of recap with this, right? So remember, it's a few ways that I talked to you guys about credit. Um, one of the ways, right? One of the things that you're doing with your credit is you're going to either be utilizing it two different ways. So either you're utilizing it with secured credit and then unsecured credit. So it's two really types of credit. Unsecured credit is, remember, when you are applying to a company and you're asking them to give you a credit card, right? You don't know what the limit's going to be. They get to pick and choose your limit. They get to decide, the limit of what you're going to get pretty much, right? So that's an unsecured card when you're asking a banking institution for an unsecured line of credit. Okay. You're not putting any money up. They're running your credit report. They're looking at your credit report. And then that's how they're going to determine the type of account or even the limit that they're going to provide to you. Right. So that's unsecured. That's what most people apply for when they're applying for loans or credit cards. Right. But the other part of credit that a lot of people do not talk about, and that's what I was getting on here with sharing with you, was secured credit, right? So secured credit is pretty much you are putting up the collateral. You are putting up the money, all right? So as I provided in the example, we'll just get the cards back out, right? So the example that I shared with you was the credit cards. You can do this with secured loans as well, too, right? But this particular card was a secured card with Navy Federal. This is an unsecured card, okay? So when I applied, they gave me $2,500, right? I didn't have to put that up. But this particular card, which is a secure card, I put $5,000 on this card, right? So with Navy Federal, their highest dollar amount that you could put on a secure card is $5,000. I also share with you that if you want a higher limit, right, there's a credit union called DCU.org, David Charlie Umbrella.org. You can get a secure card with them and you can put up to $100,000 on that secure card. So if you're looking to get a higher limit or higher credit limit, that was one of the other things that I had shared. Was one of my clients has a business, received the contract, received the check for $100,000. So how did he flip that $100,000 and turn that into more money? He put that money in his DCU credit account. He opened up two different $50,000 credit cards. So each secure card was $50,000, right? And then he held those cards for, I want to say, either 60 or 90 days, either 30 or 60 days. I think he said 60 days. Held those for 60 days and then applied to other credit card companies like Chase. I think he got 40 something, 43,000 with Chase. Like 25, 30,000 with Barclay. But in total, he had about 120,000 in credit. I'm gonna just say that each limit was different. It's been a while, but this particular client did that a couple of years ago. But that's how he pretty much used his money, right, that he had, and then turned it into more available credit. So even he still had those two $50,000 cards, but then when he went to Chase, that was unsecured. You get what I'm saying? Chase gave him an unsecured card. Barclay gave him an unsecured card with those high credit limits on it. So you can use your own money to pretty much, you know, obtain new credit, obtain higher credit limits as well. Because another thing that a lot of credit companies, especially credit unions, a lot of credit unions will do. Navy Federal is definitely one of them. Like if you apply for a credit card, a lot of times, not every time, credit is not a one size fit all. Remember, I shared that on here that everybody's credit is different. So everybody's experience can be different when it comes to applying for these different loans and lines of credit. All right. But like I said, with that particular one, he ended up, maximizing and getting some really, really nice credit cards in there. And a lot of credit unions will match your highest card. So if you have a $20,000 Barclay card on there, there's a high probability that the card that they approve you for could be 20,000 or in that range, right? Maybe 15,000, it may be 18,000, it may be 20, it may be 21, it may be 25, but it could be within that higher limit range because you already have that type of account showing on your credit report. You get what I'm saying? So that is one of the questions that I got. I'm kind of answering questions that people have asked me. I got a ton of questions on TikTok, so I'm kind of just like going through some of these for you all, so that way many of you guys are asking the same question. So I really just kind of wanted to do like an open kind of Q&A session tonight. If you have a question, you can definitely feel free to ask your question. This is kind of really like an open session right now. All right. So if you're just chiming in, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of just going through people's questions and answering them if it fits. Okay. I have an LLC. I would like to start building business credit. What are some of the things that I could do? So I do have a few. I get that question kind of a lot too. So we'll go ahead and answer that. I do have a couple of videos here on the YouTube channel. So if you are looking at my YouTube or come to the YouTube channel, I'm Patrice L. Stewart on everything: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. I'm Patrice L. Stewart. Okay, I'm the same name across all channels. On my YouTube channel, I have a ton of content, and I literally have several videos regarding setting the business up to building business credit. I gave you like 5 or 6 net 30 accounts in that video. I have like a 5 to 7 minute video on here. I would really suggest you guys going through my YouTube channel and looking up that kind of information, because some of this stuff is redundant, and I'm just not going to keep answering, the same questions over and over and over. Like, some of this stuff is redundant. And remember, business credit and business funding are two totally different things. So building business credit is one thing. When you say business credit, we're more looking at like net 30 accounts, term accounts, right? That's kind of business credit. When you want business funding, talking about credit cards, loans, lines of credit, that's funding. So make sure you know and understand the difference. You can set up accounts like Quill, Uline, Granger, Crown Office Supplies, Summa Office Supplies, the CEO Creative. It's all kind of stuff, right? I gave you 5 or 6 of those accounts in that YouTube video, so I would say go back and do that. But with those accounts, with net 30 accounts, you're pretty much building up the business credit, because these companies are allowing you to set up an account. They're going to allow you to order products from their website, right? If you go on Quill and you need to get you some markers or pens, right? If you need to order a stapler, right? You may, instead of going to the regular store, what you'll do is you'll buy these items from Quill. If you need hand wipes, right, for your office, tissue, whatever you need for your office or business, right, you'll order that from that company. Then they're going to ship the stuff out for you, and then they're going to send you an invoice, right? And so at that point, you would need to pay that invoice on time before the due date, and then they will report that account to you, to Dun & Bradstreet, to Experian, to Equifax. Now, all of them do not report to all three. Some companies only report to Dun & Bradstreet. Some companies only report to Experian Business Credit. Some companies only report to Equifax Business Credit. So that's some of the other legwork that you want to do is, understand that, because you don't want to buy from a company that's not reporting. That's the whole point of building business credit. So there is other things that go along with it besides people just out here telling you guys, oh, order from this place or order from that place. But if it doesn't make sense, then you really shouldn't be ordering from there. You get what I'm saying? The whole point of utilizing this and building credit is to build the business. It needs to be beneficial to the business. So you don't want to have accounts that are not reporting. All right, what's the next one that we got? Just a few of them on here. And like I said, at any time, if you guys are watching and chiming in and you have a specific question regarding business, taxes, or credit, then you can chime in while you got me on here tonight. It's not going to be a long session at all. At all. I'm never on Instagram. I might try to get on Instagram tonight. Let's see. I am not going to answer that one. Okay, it says you mentioned the pledge loan. Do you have to have $30,000 to do it? Okay, so no. So remember, you guys, when I'm on here, a lot of the times I am giving you my example, right, of what I did. So the story with the whole pledge loan, I shared that story with you based off of how I did the pledge loan, right? I did the pledge loan with a $30,000 investment. You don't have to. The whole point of the pledge loan, it was this pretty much. The pledge loan and the example and the way that I started it in the beginning on TikTok and YouTube was introducing it to you guys, especially for one, if you if you had access to cash or a lump sum, right? I think I started this in March when everybody was kind of getting their tax refund. And remember, I'm big with educating you on how to save and manage your money or flip the money that you get versus just spending it, right? So, my whole point of sharing the pledge loan with everybody was if you got access to a large lump sum of money, right? Whether it be whatever the dollar amount is, whether it's $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, 20,000, right? If you had access to a large lump sum of money, if you started spending that money today, it's just gone and you'll never get it back again, right? But if you did something like a pledge loan, it's called a pledge loan with Navy Federal. It's called a savings secured loan in the banking industry. Navy Federal is not the only bank that can do this. I've shared that with you guys before. Don't get caught up in that aspect. If you can't get in with Navy Federal, there are so many other credit unions that you can get in with, right? So don't focus on that. If you can't get in Navy Federal, okay, on to the next. USAA, PenFed, DCU.org. I'll keep throwing that credit union out there to you guys, especially that's the one that does the $100,000 secured card, right? You can put more money on that card, right? So there are definitely other credit unions. Don't get stuck on that. So the bank terminology is a savings secured loan. And what that is pretty much you are using your own money and they're attaching a loan to your savings account. So what for my example that I gave you was I had $30,000 in a savings account. I called Navy Federal and said, hey, I would like to do a pledge loan. Now, remember, with any other bank, it may be called something different. So what you'll say is a savings secured loan. They'll understand that terminology, right? So whatever bank you're calling, you're going to say, hey, I want to do a savings secure loan. Whatever you have in your savings account at that time, right? So remember, if you have 1,000, if you have 5,000, everybody's loan amount is going to be different, right? Then they're going to attach a loan to that dollar amount. But the biggest benefit, the biggest thing with that was you get the money right back, right? So if you needed to use the money, let's say you had something going on, right? Let's say you needed to use the money by Friday. All right. Let's say you had the money on Monday. You can call the bank on Monday, have them attach that loan. It takes a couple of days. So maybe by Wednesday or Thursday, the loan will be on your account. All right. Now, once the loan is on your account, they're going to give you your initial investment right back. So now you could go walk away with that 1,000 or that 5,000 and do whatever you need to do with it. And then what you'll be doing is paying yourself back monthly over time. So if you do a 1 year term, a 2 year term, a 3 year term, by the end of that term, you would have had that money available back to you. So if you do a $5,000, you do a $1,000 loan, say for a 1 year term, right? At the end of that 1 year payment, after you've made those payments for the 12-month period, at the end of that year, that 1,000 is available again now back in your savings account because you pretty much paid yourself back and now you have that money available to you again. It's different with me talking and not saying it and how putting it on the board. I know you probably are not going to get it the way I'm saying it, right? I don't have the whole board up in front of me. I don't think you guys can see clearly with this one. I'm going to get this one redone as a whiteboard versus this clear board. I don't really write, you don't get to see it as clear. Right. But that was the example with that. So you don't have to have 30,000. It could be whatever dollar amount. If you got 1,000, if you got 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, you know what I'm saying? But if you attach that savings secured loan to it, now that I kind of call it like a form of savings, especially for people who are kind of bad with money, or you're not, I don't want to say you're bad with money. You don't know how to manage money, right? If you mismanage your money, you're not really good with spending or keeping it. If cash just goes through your hand, you don't know how to hold the dollar, right? That may be an option for you because now your money isn't just gone. You actually have made some, you actually have the money. You can attach that loan to it, and then you're slowly paying yourself back over the term. You can do a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year, a 4 year, a 5 year term with most banks. Navy Federal even goes past 5 years. I would not recommend y'all doing really past 5 year terms. You don't want to have no whole mortgage, mortgage for a secured loan. But it's definitely a great way to, you know, keep more of your money, keep your money, and then also to be able to have it later. So if you receive 10,000 today and you just start spending it, it's gone, right? But if you had that 10,000 and put a save a secure loan to it, at least by the end of 3 years, now you'll have that $10,000 again. You get what I'm saying? It's not just gone and blown out the window. So that savings secured is a very great tool to utilize, and it helps build your credit. It reports to all three bureaus. Usually most bank loans report to all three bureaus, but there are some credit unions that may only report to one or two bureaus. You may want to verify that. Navy Federal definitely reports to all three, but most major banks report to all three all three credit bureaus. So that's the other benefit, is that as you're making that on-time monthly payment, that's also being reported to the credit report for you. So it's also, I call it like a savings and a credit builder all in one. So it's a great tool to utilize. I've actually done them for years. I've done loans every couple of years with those savings secure loans. All right, let's see if we got any questions at this point. All or nothing. Hello, good day. Is it possible to get business funding or grants without having a brick and mortar and being a newly business owner? So all or nothing training, yes, it is actually possible to get them. I'm going to be honest, my page is not the page to kind of go over grants. I'm not big on grants. I'm not big with applying for grants. If it comes across me, cool, but it's not something that like I focus on. So I'm not the best person, I'm gonna just say that, but to be talking about the grant funding. But yes, it is possible to get grants without you having a formal brick and mortar. Most of the companies still do want you to kind of be in business. Sometimes you have to show how long you have to be in business, things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible to get it without it. Also being a new business owner, I also just really want to say this kind of once again. New business owners, if you do find grants or grant funding, a lot of times it's not necessarily what was I getting ready to say? Oh, new business owners, you will really kind of have to be applying to like specific grants. Let me say that, to see if you can apply for funding as a new business owner, right? I just really think it's unrealistic for new business owners to think that you're going to get a lot of funding to start the business, or when you're kind of new, right? If you're new, I'm gonna call you a startup. If you less than a year, if you're less than 2 years in business, you're considered startups, right? 2 years kind of solidifies you, because most of the time when lenders are asking for paperwork, they're asking for 2 years tax returns, 2 years financial statements, 6 months to 12 months worth of bank statements, right? This is how it looks on the lending side. So if you go to a bank today and you want to get a loan, that's usually what they're going to require. You 2 years in business, 2 years worth of taxes, 2 years worth of financial statements. If you're with that bank, then they don't, sometimes ask for bank statements 6 to 12 months. But even private equity firm lenders, that's usually the paperwork that they ask for. They ask for 2 years tax returns, 2 years P&Ls, and then they want 6 to 12 months worth of bank statements. So that's kind of standard, right? Me personally, I don't know of any banks that are giving you money as a startup. Because once again, when you're asking for funding, and that's why I'm breaking this down to you guys, it's a big difference between business credit and business funding. Funding is loan. Funding are credit cards. Funding, you get what I'm saying? Funding is money. How are you going to pay these people back? Nobody is giving you guys money and you cannot show proof of income. You cannot show proof of being able to pay this loan back, which is why they ask for bank statements, which is why they ask for tax returns, which is why they ask for profit and loss reports, right? And again, this is why I'm saying this, because a lot of you guys are side hustling. And you don't realize that you're a side hustler until you come across somebody like me who's going to be open and honest with you and tell you you're not really in business. If you don't know your numbers, if you don't know what you're making, if you don't know what your profit and loss is, if you don't know what your expenses are, if you don't know what your income is, you just out here juggling, you're not a real legitimate business. You're side hustling. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you just got to know where you at and stay in that until you're ready to actually be a business where you can actually show your numbers. And you get what I'm saying? But I think that's a very big myth that a lot of startup business owners have, is that somebody's going to give you the money to start your business. Like, this is your business. This is your idea. That's not realistic, right? When I started my business, I had to come up with the money. So you can sit around and wait for grants or do that. I'm not big on that. I'm big with teaching my business mentees how to get straight to the money, straight to the bag, right? We don't really have time to be applying for a bunch of grants, and then it's not even guaranteed a lot of times. So you and 100,000 other business people on here applying for a grant. If you get it, great, but it's just not something that I focus on. So I'm probably not the best person to ask that. I'm probably not the best person to ask about grants, because, like I said, I focus more on income generating business ideas than the other thing. All right, that was a good question though. If anybody else got any other one? Let's see. I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to do that one, that young lady. That's a little private. Some of these messages, y'all give y'all whole dang on life in here. Y'all tell y'all whole dang on life on here. And then some of y'all writing 3 and 4 paragraphs. I'm not reading that. If you want to ask me one question in the box, ask me one question. But if you type me 3, 4 paragraphs, I'm telling you right now, I'm not reading that. Y'all, that don't even make sense to send somebody 3 and 4 paragraphs. That's a consultation. You need to definitely book a one-on-one consultation if you got 3 or 4 paragraphs to type, baby. I don't read that for free. Okay. So let me just let y'all know how to ask a question in my inbox if you don't want to get passed up and left on read. Because 3 paragraphs, you're gonna be left on read. All right. All right, what's the next question? So I'm reading questions out of my TikTok messenger. we had got a bunch of questions over the last couple of days with me going live. So I'm really just doing some open Q&A. If you guys have a question regarding business, taxes, credit, the floor is open today. Like this is your chance. Okay. Hey, Miss Melissa. Hey, Michelle. Girl, I gotta call you back. It's been a day. You already understand. It's been a day. But as soon as I'm doing off of here, I'm gonna call you back tonight, Michelle. We got something to talk about. I got something to talk to you about. Hey, Miss Melissa. Let me just make sure. Facebook, I am on YouTube. So you can definitely come on over to the YouTube channel. YouTube. Patrice L. Stewart. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. Instagram, I'm also Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. How do I share my page? I don't got time to be typing all that. I'm Patrice L. Stewart on YouTube. I'm just say that. My assistant has already left for the night. She usually type my stuff in for me while I'm on here, but it's late. Okay, let me see. Melissa got on here. Hey, Miss Melissa. All right. Is there somewhere you can check your business credit score at no cost? Does it reduce your score when you check your business credit? So I'm not familiar where you can check your business credit score with no cost besides opening up a DNB account. Now, if you go on Dun & Bradstreet, you can open up a Dun & Bradstreet account where you'll be able to see your Paydex score. I personally use NAV though. NAV.com, NAVE.com. I personally use NAV. And I go ahead and I paid a little monthly fee for NAV. I paid like the $39. Excuse me. I pay like the $39 a month package with NAV. And really the reason why I do that, and they may have cut this off recently. I think they got an email. I'm not the business credit expert, so don't quote me. But I know that they were either making changes to it or cutting it off. But I pay for the one where I get the trade line. So they report your account as a trade line every month. But then also with that one, you also get your Experian credit report, your Equifax credit report, and your DNB. So you get all three, Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, and that reports as a trade line. And that account, that NAV account reports as a trade line to your business. So that also helps add another trade line, and it boosts the business as well that way, right? But then also with that $39, I get my credit report. So I get access to, it used to be 3. I think one of the ones went away. So I think I get Experian and TransUnion now, not Equifax. You used to get all 3, but now I don't get all 3 scores. I think I get 2 out of the 3 scores. It's been a while. I got to log back in NAV. Matter of fact, while I'm on here right now, I'll just log in and see. But yeah, so for that $39.99, I'm getting the trade line, access to all 3 bureau credit reports, plus my personal. So that's worth it to me. So it just really depends, on you and how you feel. But to me, that's definitely worth it versus paying, $29, $39 a month just for your personal credit report. It made way more sense to do it that way. So I'm actually logging back in now to my NAV account so I can say for sure. I kind of want to be sure with that. Okay, nope. So, right. So it is. So I have The Dun & Bradstreet reporting, I got an 80 Paydex score. I have a 70 score on Experian business. And then my Equifax score is kind of low. It's only 340, which is low for what they say. And then my FICO. So I do have my personal credit scores are showing, which is Experian and TransUnion. So they no longer have Equifax. They used to have all three. So Equifax is no longer with the personal credit report because it definitely used to show all three. Right. But yeah, that's not bad. And then again, I'm still paying. And then it also reports as a trade line for me on there, the NAV account. So NAV has a what is it called? Let me see. Can I see my full report? Yes, got my business accounts. There we go. Open accounts. That's not letting me see that one. So I'm surprised because I haven't really did nothing with mine in a while. I got 5 accounts reporting, but I do got the 80 Paydex score. So I'm probably not reading it right. You got to download the credit report. But I am, like I said, paying for their trade line. So yeah, that's what I use. Yeah, NAV, it's the NAV credit builder. Um Well, like I said, I think I saw on there where they were gonna be cutting that off or cutting that out. So, but as of right now, it looks like it's still reporting. And then, like, you can attach your bank account to it. It'll show you like your cash flow, your revenue, like what you bringing in. It'll kind of let you know. I like NAV. I will say personally, I like NAV because it kind of gives you like an overview of everything. So definitely, Melissa. Okay, she said I had 2 questions. So the other one is I'm coming back for another consultation before the year is up. All right, Melissa, let's roll. Actually, Melissa, send me your information because I have a couple of truckers that um have trucking companies, but they're not making any money. They got trucks sitting on the side of the road. And you do dispatching, right? Isn't that your business? So I would really like to help get some of these truckers using their trucks because some of these guys have invested in the truck, but then now the truck is just sitting there. And that's the worst thing in the world to have a truck and it's just sitting there not making no money. So we need to get some of them with you. But I could have sworn you told me that you did dispatch services. So let me know for sure. I'm gonna put my email address down here. You're a broker. I am a broker, and I have the freight for drivers depending on the type of truck and trailer they have. Okay, right. I know it's different from broker and dispatcher, so maybe we'll do a live one night where you can kind of explain a broker, right? And then maybe I'll have a different day on with somebody who's a dispatcher, and they can explain what they do because it is 2 different things. So send me your contact information. I'm typing in my email address right now because, like I said, I do have a couple of people, especially on that TikTok, that admitted to owning trucks right now or owning a truck, but not sitting with it. I don't. Do you do box trucking? Because that's the other thing. I was talking about box trucking with this one. So this isn't an 18-wheeler. These are people that got probably a box truck, like a 26 footer or something like that. All right, cool, perfect. Yep. I thought about you. I did. I was like, it's a girl. I know. I couldn't remember your last name, but I knew your name, Melissa, and I see the face with the red hair. So I'm like, I got a client on my YouTube channel that do dispatch, and I'm gonna say something the next time I see her. So look, there you go. Bam. I definitely refer to people who mess with me. You know, if you want I talk to you, I know you a real legitimate business owner, you know, you on your grind, you on your business, then I definitely refer people to my client base or my people that I know, right? So that's how it works. So I would definitely rather than work with you than somebody else or some stranger on the street. Yeah, cool. Let's roll. Get them on them lows, boy. That ASAP. That's what I told them. And that's the thing. Like this is why I said the trucking industry. That's why I'm really focusing on that industry next year after this tax season. Um, I'm gonna be only really focused on the trucking industry because there's so much in there, and there's so many of those people that need help. Not just men, but let's just be honest, fellas. We know y'all don't like paperwork. Let's just admit it. All right, y'all do not like paperwork, so they will pay that money, baby, for you to process that paperwork for them while they sitting in that truck. So truckers, if you've been looking for somebody that's going to assist you with paperwork and processes and your accounting and your bookkeeping, baby, you have found her. I am literally creating a whole system for 2023 just for y'all in the trucking industry. I'm not even going to be focused on individual tax returns after this upcoming tax season. Probably by June 2023, we only going to be doing trucking taxes because it's just so much out there, so much that y'all need, and I feel like it's a really untapped market that y'all don't really have somebody like that's wholly solely focused on you and your industry. There's just so many tax credits and write-offs and deductions that I've been helping these truckers get. They ain't even understand. So I'm like, ooh, this a untapped market. Come on, let's come on in and tap in over here. So I'm excited. Okay, Melissa. They need to get on the low boys. I ain't sure why they having a hard time because truckers are getting hurt. Girl, a lot of people know this the thing. You know, a lot of people know how to invest in it, right? But then they don't know how to get to the money. And everybody is not consistent with going on the low boards or figuring out, you know, some of that stuff is could be what's the word I want to say? Could be a little overwhelming. You know, you going on those low boards and you don't really know how they look, how to work them, how to quote, right? So that's why we need people like you, right? That way they don't necessarily have to deal with the low boards. They could just pay you a percentage. But if you keeping them on the road, you keeping them busy, that's all that matter. And that's what I've been stressing to some of them was, you know, if you got to pay somebody a percentage, I don't know offhand what a broker charges, but let's say if you got to pay 15% of your income, if you can keep 85% of your income, but you're consistently on the road, you're consistently booking gigs, you picking up, dropping off, you picking up, you dropping off. I would give somebody 15. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just throwing out a percentage out here, right? It may not be that much. It may be higher. I don't know. Melissa will tell us more information, right? But I would definitely do that because if you don't have the mindset or the capability to be on the computer and looking and watching and being on the phone with these people and going back and forth and all of that, that's a lot. That could be overwhelming. So I understand why some of these people truck is just sitting there. I really don't. I'm gonna say that. I don't understand that because I'm gonna go get it. We're gonna make that truck work, whether we renting it out to somebody else or something. Right, right. But from a mental standpoint, I can definitely understand why they would have the money to just invest. But then now they don't really know how to get to that bag with it. You know what I'm saying? So cool. I'm glad you down to help. That's what we need. That's what we need. That's what we need. All right, cool. So I'm glad you sent me your info. I know I'm never really on here, Instagram. I'm sorry. I don't even think I've addressed y'all. I'm on YouTube right now too, doing open Q&A. So if y'all ever want to chime on over there, you can come on over to the YouTube channel. That's where everything stays up and the replays and all of that. Okay. Phase. Face of M3 recently went through an audit and now they're trying to have me pay back the taxes. How can I avoid this? So really, I don't really know how you can avoid it, baby, because it's a lot when it comes to an audit. And I don't know what your taxes are, what your audit is. That may be a personal question that you may want to book a tax inquiry call or something with me. But there's no way for me to tell you what you can do with that information that you just gave me. You telling me that you got into an audit and now that you got to pay back the taxes, how can you avoid that? I don't know. That's not enough information for me to give you an answer. But you might want to seek somebody like an enrolled agent who can do an offer and compromise for you. Whatever they're saying that you owe, you may have to do an amended tax return. You may even be past that point if you already got audited. So it's a lot of other moving parts that I have no clue of what you're missing. Sending you a lot of love. We really appreciate you for all you do. You are a blessing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Patrice Houston. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let me see if I got any. I got more questions, but some of these questions that's in this inbox is really personal questions. So I'm trying to find some that I can answer live that would pertain to all of you. All right, I already went over business credit. Can you still book a tax appointment? Yes, you can. So if you did not know, you can still file taxes. Yes, you can. I am in the office right now. I mean, I'm sitting here with my marketing director, my cousin, but I'm still filing taxes. So my office is taking clients up until November 10th. Not to say November 12th. That's a Saturday. So up until November 12th. And then I'm actually officially closing for the year, shutting down that Monday, the 21st. So you have to have your taxes in to me by the 12th. That last week, the 13th through the 19th, we'll work on everybody who was last minute filers. And then my office will shut down that Monday, the 21st. So that last 21st, by the end of the day, Monday, I'm closed for the rest of the year. Then I'll reopen back up in January to start the process for the upcoming year. So yes, you can still file taxes. You can. My link is no longer on Instagram. So Instagram, you guys don't have access to my link. I don't know if I can even type it in. Instagram and Facebook, I cannot type in my personal link, my business link, because Instagram and Facebook has blocked my booking information. So I'm gonna try to type it in here, but if it say error, then that means it's blocking it. I got a couple of links, so. You say, I realize this is more in depth than what I posted. Yeah, thank you. And that's fine with it being vague. I don't really want you putting all your information out here on the internet streets. You can reach out to me one-on-one or, schedule. Like I said, I have a tax inquiry call. It's $37 for 15 minutes. And that way, if you have like a question or something regarding taxes, then, we could speak more in depth that way. But yeah, in a nutshell, yes, we're still filing taxes. I actually am bringing on a couple of tax agents right now. So if you were interested in learning the tax industry, or, maybe you do taxes on the side and now you want to learn maybe how to work under a real office and professional and, learn the game and start your own real business one day, great. But I am bringing in a few tax agents under my office this year for the upcoming season for January. So yes, we are filing taxes. Okay. We're training right now one of the new people that's getting ready to get started. We're getting ready to start training with them next week. But let me also say this. If you have not filed 2019 taxes, this is your last year to file them electronically. All right. So if you have not filed 2019, 2020, or current year 2021, I can still file all 3 of those years electronically. Okay. Electronically. You can go on TurboTax right now and try to file 2021. You will not be able to file it electronically. You can go on TurboTax and try to file 2020. You will not be able to file it electronically, right? So I'm an actual e-file agent with the IRS. I have an e-fin number. I can electronically submit your returns for the last 3 years. So I've been telling people you only get 3 years to claim your refund. So 2019, this is it. If you have not filed taxes and even if you owe, 9 times out of 10, y'all do not know all the credits that you qualify for. I have gotten a lot of people who owed a refund because there were certain credits that were available that they were not aware of. That's another reason why you work with a professional, a tax professional who does this all year round, because I keep up with the laws, the updates, the credits, things like that, right? That's why you're paying me. Okay. So some of y'all that want to be on TurboTax, y'all be missing a lot of money because you don't know the updated credits and laws. Okay. But if you didn't know that, yeah, 19, this is it. This is the last year to get it in. Once January hits, you can still file 2019 taxes up until April. But if you have to mail it, they're not going to get that paperwork. I'm going to just tell you that right now. If you put anything in the mail right now, your paperwork is sitting in a pile from probably 2 years ago when the pandemic started. So the worst thing in the world is for you to mail the IRS something right now. They so far behind, it don't make no sense. Electronic is the way to go. Okay. What else? What else you got? What else you got? What else you got? I can go back in my inbox and answer questions if y'all need be. Hey, Mr. Carter. um, it's Friday night though. It's probably a lot of people out. It's only a few of us that's still grinding it on a Friday night, working towards our goals. We know majority of the people are out here probably in these streets, especially in Chicago. All right. So if y'all don't have many questions, I've been on here almost an hour, so I'm gonna get off of here. All right, counting down. If you got questions, this is your last roundup. TikTok, I'm a TikTok Lord. Instagram, I just came on here. I've been on here an hour, but I just decided to jump on because I'm never on here. And now you know why. I'm not going to be on these platforms too much when they are blocking my content. So Facebook owns Instagram. So I'm on Facebook, but not on Facebook, if that makes sense. I'm limited to the content that we have here. So your best channels to follow me are TikTok and YouTube. These are the best channels that you can follow me on and ask your questions and get questions answered and everything. All right. Yeah, I would definitely say though, don't catch me. You're not gonna really catch me here on Instagram. I'm never on Instagram. So I'm on TikTok daily, and I'm on YouTube more, not daily. I'm trying to get on YouTube more daily. Those are the 2 main platforms that you should follow me on for content. I don't really post nothing here on Instagram at all. It's not the best. YouTube and TikTok are the 2 number 1 platforms, if y'all didn't know. I know Facebook, you know, that's Facebook. But YouTube and TikTok are the 2 number 1 video platforms in the world right now. Actually, it was an article a couple of months ago that TikTok actually surpassed YouTube on video views. I was shocked, right? So if you are in a profession, business, product, or service, you all should definitely have a YouTube page and channel. You should also have a TikTok page and channel, and put your content on there and start posting and promoting on those platforms. All right. The Blue app, they're a little old and outdated. Most of the people who really got business, they not on the Blue app all day. All right. And when I say the Blue app, I'm talking about Zuckerberg app, because I know Twitter is a Blue app too. Twitter, I have a Twitter account. I'm going to start posting more. My cousin said I got to start putting more on my Twitter account now. All or nothing. When you first started your own business and them slow months or years that entrepreneurs go through, how did you find the will to power to keep pushing through? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a great way to end this session tonight. All right. So let me reread that. When you first started your own business and them slow months or years that entrepreneurs go through, how did you find the willpower to keep pushing through? Ooh, Lord, that's a good question. All right. Um, one, to be honest, I've kind of shared this with you guys. Like, some of us start a business just to make money. It is what it is, right? But then some of us start a business because it's your destiny, it's your assignment, right? I've shared that. All of us have an assignment here on this earth. You were born into this world for a reason, okay? Maybe you don't know what your reason is. Maybe that's something you still got to dig deep and find out. But for me, I have been speaking and talking about money and credit and education and all this stuff ever since. No, it's actually a very good question. Ever since I was a kid, like I was 15 with a checkbook trying to show my friends how to balance a checkbook, right? So I knew from a very early age that I was different, that I thought different, that my mindset was different, that my vision was different, right? I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. Like I just knew it from a very early age. So some of us are destined, right? Some of us have an assignment. And for me, I knew that even though in my up and down times with growing, I had to stick with it because this is what God was telling me to do, right? This is that inside push that I kept constantly getting. Even when I wanted to quit, I would keep coming back to it. And so that's another thing. Like when you want to let something go, but you keep coming back to it, you keep refocusing on it, you keep restarting it. That's probably a part of your destiny, which means you need to start tapping in into your alignment, which means you need to start tapping into your higher power, start talking to your creator and asking him for help, asking him for guidance, asking him for assistance. Because for me, in those down times, I had to do that. I had to really be like, okay, God, you know. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, it's real though. But like, really, when it got really tough to the point where, like, if I couldn't pay my rent or office bills, I would literally get a client like right at the niche, right, like right at that little last hour where you about to get that red notice. It's like, bam, you know what I'm saying? Here you go. It's like, bam. All right, don't stop. Here go, here go a spoon to get fed. So I would get a client, like a $2,000 client, $3,000 client, something like a big ticket client, right? Or whatever I was doing. And that would bring me back up, right? So then, because I'm in financial services, and this is another reason why I teach my business owners the way I do in the lab and in the mentoring and coaching programs and the one-on-one that I offer. Because now that I know these certain things, I can show you how to get there a lot quicker. I can show you how to set up systems and automation and put certain things in place to where your money is not up and down. Because really, as entrepreneurs, we really shouldn't be having these up and down financial moments to where it's like gonna shut us completely out and down. You get what I'm saying? We all go through up and down periods in business. It is what it is. Like right now, this fourth quarter, most entrepreneurs, everybody's money is low right now. And I don't want to say everybody's money low, but I'm gonna say sales may be lower, right? Because it's the end of the year, it's the crunch time. People are more preparing for this upcoming season, right? Holiday season. They want to buy trips. They want to buy kids Christmas, Christmas, and you got Thanksgiving, right? You got all these different holidays coming up. So people are a lot more bootstrapped at the end of the year, right? So as an entrepreneur, you have to know this. You have to know and understand, okay, if my peak season is the summertime. I think you are in like this that's chaos on there to say all enough the trainer. I can't see the photo real good. But you're in training, right? So a lot of people want to get their bodies together over the summer. So if you know that May, June, July, August is like your peak months where you're going to maximize your income, you need to have programs, or you need to have like a digital download ebook, something, right? Training course or something that you can have a high ticket offer. Then that way, when this time frame comes, when the fall to winter season comes, when that third and fourth quarter comes in, your cash flow is not drained. You get what I'm saying? And so this is the biggest part and important part with knowing your numbers. This is why I'm always stressing to y'all, you got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers, because if you up high, but you're not saving and putting that money up when you high, when the income is high coming in, right? When you getting them big, when you getting those clients and you booking those clients, that's the problem. You're not maintaining that money. So I know my peak tax season is January through April, right? I can make six figures. I'm gonna just say that in January through April. So that means I know that when June, July, August comes, it slows down for me, because nobody really thinking about taxes between June, July, and August. But now when September and October come, because everybody filed an extension and they know that they got to file by October 15th, and then even after October 15th, knowing me, they know that they could still file all the way up to the end of the year. So now I'm making money again, right? Now my sales are going back up, because now I got people that's coming that need to get these taxes filed, right? So now, so how did I sustain between June, July, and August? I sustained off of that money from January through April, which is why you got to have a savings account, which is why you got to have them three different type of accounts when you in business. You got a deposit account, an expense account, and a savings account, right? So that way, if I needed to, my company is self-sustaining, thank God. Now we there, right? Where I'm not pulling from my savings account to make me live off January, July, August now, because I have set up systems and processes and procedures and digital products and stuff like that to keep me afloat through the whole year. And that's the same thing that I'm teaching my business owners. You don't have to be up and down with your income. You're up and down with your income because you're not managing your money. You're not looking at your books. You're not knowing your numbers, and you don't have a game plan. You don't have an action plan. You don't have a strategy, as I like to call it, right? So when you learn that and you get with somebody like me who's way more than just a tax person, right? That's why I'm a business consultant, a tax and business strategist, because I do way more than taxes. I'm not a tax person. That's why I say don't limit me to just taxes, right? Because I'm actually teaching you how to understand and maintain your business long term and all year round with the strategies that we put in place. So that's the best way that I can answer that is, yes, I had my moments in the beginning, but I had to really look at myself and look at my books and understand you're going to have highs, you're going to have peak seasons. It's in every business. Every single business goes through it. You're not going to be making your scale is not going to be up every single month. You're going to have those down months depending on your industry, and that's what you need to know and understand. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that helped. And then I'll just end this with saying, as business owners, you have to pour into yourself. You have to be open and willing to take classes and courses, because one thing is, most of us are brand new entrepreneurs, right? Most of us are first time generation entrepreneurs. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. My family, my dad didn't understand entrepreneurship. He was like, "What the heck are you talking about? You're not going back and get a job." Right? So a lot of us come from that as first time entrepreneurs. So you're doing something and you're trying to put something out here, which is great. But also, too, a lot of you guys are not also charging what you really should be charging, especially if you look like me. That's the other sad reality. I did it too. And that's the other reason why I push not charge what you worth, charge your experience, right? People always want to say charge what you worth and you want to come out the door. Well, I want to charge $50,000. I know the information what I'm giving is $1 million worth of game. but I may not get a $50,000 client every month. You get what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a charging what you worth. It's charging based on your level of experience. If you are an expert in your field, you are an expert in your craft, you should not be having low level prices like a startup. If you've been doing this 7, 8, 9, 10 years, a lot of y'all pricing structure is off. And then you're scared to charge the people because you're thinking that you're not going to find the customers, or the customers that you currently have don't want to pay it. But let me also show you and explain to you this. That is also how I built up, how I was able to scale up. Because yes, when I started my company in 2008, I was dealing with earned income clients only, right? Earned income tax clients are a very limited in the box client base though. They are focused on who's going to give me the biggest refund. And they're not loyal, a lot of them. They will go to the next person every year because they're looking for who's going to get them the biggest refund. When you realize your destiny, and when you realize who your client base is and who you're supposed to be talking to, then you'll understand that I knew early on I wanted to build me a real business foundation. So I wasn't stuck on the $500 earned income client, right? So I had to start asking God and manifesting, hey, I want clients that make over 6 figures. I want clients that make $100,000 or more, right? So I started manifesting that. Now I'm manifesting, I want clients that make over $1 million, that have over $1 million in assets. That's what I'm manifesting now. And now I'm in the room with millionaires. So every time you want to level up, you got to level up mentally. You got to level up mentally here, spiritually, in your mind, in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And understand that when you're ready to grow and charge more money, you can't deal with that same level of mindset people when you're ready to grow, because that was my problem. I was ready to grow, but I was still dealing with people who want to argue with me about an income tax return. You get what I'm saying? Whereas now I have people who understand and see my value, and they're okay with paying me $2,000 for a tax return, or a business or a corporate tax return. Easy. That's not even a question. You get what I'm saying? So, but I didn't just jump out the window with that base. I grew. I consistently grew my client base. I'm always reading, adding more knowledge, adding more experience. You get what I'm saying? So we have to recognize that when it's time for us to level up. If those clients think that your prices are too much because you raised them, then that just means they're no longer your client. That's not the client for you. That's it. But that doesn't mean that you won't get clients who will pay that, because you will. There are people that will pay the prices that you want. You just have to be willing to be okay with that kind of transition period. And that's why I'm saying, if you plan properly, if you set up automation systems, sales, right? You can still live and survive while you're transferring, while you're building up to that next level, that next client base, and you'll be okay. That's how I've been able to be okay these last 4 years, because after everything went crazy for me in 2018 and I lost everything and I had to start from the ground up, this is how I built. This is how I was able to build up and scale and bring on staff and hiring people and creating and having a marketing company, right? I wasn't doing all that before, when I was just me by myself working and not understanding my value. But when I did the work, right, and understand who I am and what God put me here for, I had to understand, okay, those just not my clients no more. And it's okay. You have to be okay with letting people go. That's, I think, the biggest problem for most entrepreneurs is you guys get to a level when you're not okay with letting people go. And that's gonna hurt your pockets in the long run. But you get it. You got it. You say you this year and Pookie next year. Right. Seriously. Seriously. I mean, that's kind of the up and down with some of those people. Of course, I'm not putting every earned income credit person in, that box, but there are a lot of people who I have come across who are like that, right? That's what I'm saying. You'll be dealing with earned income credit people all 10 years and never grow. You'll never level up. You'll still be side hustling taxes, which is what a lot of these people are out here doing, just side hustling taxes to throw a Schedule C on somebody return and charge them a quick $500. That's cool for some people, right? That's the difference with me. I'm a real financial services firm. I'm a real office. I'm open 12 months. I'm not in a January through April tax expert. You get what I'm saying? So some people in it just for the quick money. That's cool, but not over here. We want long term, long standing businesses that we can grow into multiple 6 and 7 figure brands. That's that 7 and 8 figure brands. Okay, that's the goal. Melissa, indeed, we got to stay motivated and dig into our willpower. That's a great question. We all need motivation in the slower times. Perfect. Yeah. Right. See, Melissa even said it in the slower times. Like everybody, this is fourth quarter is slower for a lot of companies. And that's the other thing too, why I'm saying if you don't have a game plan, Black Friday is coming up, y'all. Black Friday is the biggest spending holiday of the year. If you have a sale, if you have a product or a service and you don't have nothing put together for Black Friday, I'm gonna need you to tap in. Seriously. Okay. I have a in-person mastermind that I'm hosting here in Chicago on November 13th. It's a Sunday from 12 to 3 p.m. Okay. Sunday from 12 to 3 p.m., November 13th. It's an exclusive mastermind event for 20 leaders. I got people flying in from out of state. I got a girl coming from New York and a girl coming from Florida, as far as I know right now. They have purchased their tickets already, right? So this is an in-person event. Um, it's a private location. Private chef will be there feeding us. I'll be teaching and educating you guys on systems, automation, and sales. I'm going to have Makita Smith there. I'm so excited to have Makita in the building because Makita is a powerhouse, baby. She has a couple of companies, Licensed and Unbothered, Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. She'll be in attendance. She's actually going to be on the Sprinter van with me because I also have an option where you guys could ride VIP there with me to the a place. You'll meet me here at my office, park your car here, and then you'll get in the Sprinter van with me and ride to the location with me and back. Right. So that's an extra little VIP time that you get with me. And it's only 10 people will be on that Sprinter with us. So we're not going to max it out. It's the 15 Sprinter van, but we're going to only allow 10 people on the thing, right? That's $297. That's a very cheap mastermind, okay? But then I'm also going to do a system and sales workshop on Zoom because I do have people on TikTok that was asking for it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm finalizing the date now. I will say if you're interested in that Zoom, you can send me a text now because we're going to send you guys a specific offer to get in now before we always do an early bird kind of offer. That class is going to be $297, but we will give you like an early bird offer if you're interested in it now because I haven't set a final date yet for that. But I'm definitely going to do an online workshop because I know a lot of people cannot get. A lot of my following is not in Chicago. We got a lot of people all over all 50 states. So don't worry, YouTubers, we got you. We will definitely have a virtual event, kind of how we did the 5-day wealth challenge. And we have another one of those coming up. I got to get with the team as far as what day can we do because there's just so much going on right now with the taxes and everything else we got going on. But yeah, I think that's it. Y'all good? Y'all, I think we done with the questions. I answered everything. We good because I'm not answering them. I'm getting off of y'all. I got stuff to do. So tap in. Tap in, family. If you can, I'm gonna put my link down here because you guys can get on YouTube. You guys can get access to the brunch if you would like to attend that. I already put it on the live here on Instagram. And I'm gonna get off of here. All right, cool. All right, I am out, y'all. No problem, Lily Daniels. That's why I say that's part of my assignment is to share my journey, share my journey and then make sure that many of you don't have to go through what I did, right? Which was that up and down inconsistency. You don't want that. So we're doing a lot in the lab too this next month. So if you guys are not in my monthly membership program for business owners called The Lab, you can tap in. You can get in the lab. It's $47 a month. We got a couple of excuse me, couple of workshops that we'll be pushing out to the lab this month. Okay, this upcoming month for November and December, and then we're also preparing and rolling. We'll also have our agenda kind of set up for the next couple of months in January too. So we'll be starting fresh in January with topics because everybody's always on their new year, new me, new goals. So we'll have a lot more people ready and prepared for this information in January. So yeah, y'all stick around. We got plenty for you. All right, I'm out. If you want to text me and be on the Sunday workshop, we're doing another Zoom to become a tax agent or get tax or coaching or mentoring from me. You can text 773-253-8668. You can text tax agent and we'll send you the Zoom link. Again, we're meeting Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. It's free, completely free to come on and learn the information about the tax agent program. And then you can learn the information about the coaching side that I'm offering for people who are already kind of doing taxes, but maybe want to learn more. And then if you want to get in the brunch or any of the other workshops, you can still text that same number and let us know how we can help you. 773-253-8668. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I will be back on tomorrow for Big Business Saturday. Have a good night. Thanks, Melissa. Thank you, Lily and Chaos, for being on tonight on YouTube. See y'all tomorrow.